Yo, what it do, what it do, what it do. This is Toby with O-Line Security, and we are back with some more educational content. Today, what we're going to be taking a look at is Jira. We have a few students that are starting new positions as IT support analysts, help desk analysts. We have students who are interning for these positions as well. But one of them that is starting their new role will be interacting with this tool, right? Jira is a ticketing system. Please keep in mind there are other ticketing systems available. We have Jira, there's ServiceNow, there's a bunch more. We're going to focus on Jira from a high level perspective because that is what one of our students is going to be using. Yes, there are free resources out there for them to start interacting with Jira. Jira is a free application, but we figure, hey, why not help them out and just go through some of the bells and whistles that they may be actually using. So let's go ahead and get started. So right here, you see we have a simple Google search looking for Jira Atlassian ticket free, right? Jira is the name of the ticketing software. Atlassian has a bunch of other products, including Jira. But if you did want to come and create a free account, simply Google this. You probably don't need this entire phrase, but hey, the more the better. And you can see it right here. Get Jira software for free. I already have it open up. I'm going to start with what I have here, and then we'll go ahead and create our own ticket and project from scratch. Let's just do this from a high-level overview of what a finished product may look like. So we have two projects, right? This is the Jira platform, right? The Jira platform, you have a bunch of different tabs, filters, dashboards. We're not going to go into all the bells and whistles here, but more so what you may be interacting with as an analyst or help desk analyst. So we have two projects. The projects are pretty much can be separated by team, right? We have an IT support project, we have a Splunk team project, two different teams. And within these projects, you're going to have different tickets, right? The IT support project, they'll have their IT support tickets, help desk analyst tickets. And then the Splunk team, they're going to have their tickets, right? And both teams are going to only be able to view their respective tickets. What that means is the IT support team, right? Let's say you're on the IT support team, you will not be able to view the tickets under the Splunk team project. If you're on the Splunk team, vice versa, you will not be able to view the tickets under the IT support project. Okay, so that is separated by role-based access controls. So let's go ahead and select one of these projects. If I go into the IT support project, you are going to see a ticket here, right? This is one ticket that we already created. We're going to create our own ticket from scratch, but you can see a ticket here, right? It's under the to-do list. Obviously, you could rename these to whatever you seem fit, but straight out the box, you will have a to-do list. Once this ticket is picked up by someone and they start working on it, it will transition over to the in progress. Once they complete it, it will be done, right? And you can see that there are other tickets, right? But they will be in the backlog. Okay, if I click backlog, you see that we have other tickets that we can pick up and assign to ourselves, right? This is not assigned to anyone. You see this cool unassigned logo. This is not assigned to anyone. This is not assigned to anyone. Tickets that aren't assigned to anyone and are not actively being worked on are going to be in your backlog. We're going to come back and take a look at this again, right? We're going to create our own tickets and put them in backlog. If I come back to the active board, right? Let's come back to the active board. The active board are tickets that are currently being worked on for the current sprints. Okay, now the question is, what the heck is a sprint, right? So a sprint is part of a Scrum-based project. You have Kanban projects, you have Scrum-based projects. There's two different types of methodologies to organize your workflow. You can use both. You can use Scrum and Kanban within the organization. You can just use a Scrum-based project. You can just use a Kanban-based project. It really doesn't matter. They're both useful. They're both great. Now, the main difference, at least from my point of view, is that the Scrum-based projects are governed by time, right? They're governed by time. A sprint is probably about 1 to 2 weeks. So things within a sprint must be completed within that time frame, right? That 1 to 2 weeks. And the time frame is all dependent upon your organization, your SOPs. Right now, I believe this sprint here is a 1 to 2 week sprint. So everything in sprint one, right? So far, there's only one thing here. Everything in sprint one has to be completed before this sprint ends, right? And we can see the time frame is 9 days remaining, right? So this has to be completed before this time expires. If it doesn't, right, there may be some SLA breaches, something something bad may happen, something bad may not happen. It really depends on the project. Okay, so let me just click into this ticket, right? I'm going to click into this ticket, and you can see, hey, here's the title: Add C. Murphy account to remote users group. There's some child issues under this parent ticket. This is the parent ticket: Add C. Murphy account to remote users group. The child issues, we have create Murphy account. You have create SSH keys for Murphy. What are child issues? They are just tasks that should be completed in order to complete the parent issue, right? This parent issue, add C. Murphy account to remote users group, is dependent upon these child issues. In other words, in order to complete this add C. Murphy account to remote users group, we need to create a C. Murphy account, and we also need to create SSH key. We're going to create this from scratch. I'm just showing you what a finished ticket may or may not look like. All right, cool. Now, important thing here, description. You should always leave a detailed description of your ticket, right? You should always have a detailed description, because other people are going to be looking at these tickets. Other people may end up working on your tickets. You may be out on vacation. You may be out on sick leave. Someone else is going to look at the description to figure out what they need to do and where you left it. Just figure out what they need to do. The work that you're doing in the ticket, you should always make note of that in the comment section. You should always make note of all the work you're doing. Take screenshots, put it in the comments. Hey, you create the C. Murphy account. Take a screenshot of that finished account. Hey, you created SSH keys for them. Take a screenshot of that. Hey, you ran into an issue, right? Maybe you weren't able to create the SSH keys because there was something wrong with some type of tool or in-house application that you use. Take a screenshot, and post that as a comment in the ticket, right? You can post pictures and notes here in the comment section, and everyone will be able to see it, at least the people who have access to it. Okay. Now, this is the parent ticket. This right here, TSP-1, it doesn't really matter, right? The TSP is just an abbreviation of the project, right? Don't worry about this name, the number. You can change that. It's not a big deal, right? So this is the name of the ticket. Well, this is the number. This is the title of the ticket. We don't have a description. We should, but we don't. The child issues that this ticket is dependent upon. Are all tickets going to have child issues? No. Do all tickets need child issues? No. It all depends on what you're working on. Can you create more child issues? Yeah. If you're working on something and you find out that, hey, the overall ticket that you're working on is dependent upon something else, then you can go ahead and create a child issue. We're going to do that, but we're just going through this from a high level perspective first. All right, sweet. That's it for this one. I'm going to go out. This is a Scrum-based project right here. Right. Remember, you have Scrum-based, you have Kanban. There are other types, but this is probably a good one to use when you're trying to meet deadlines. If I go back to my projects, I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to click on projects, and I could either select one of the projects, or I could just go back to look at everything. I'm going to select view all projects. Cool. We already looked at the IT support project. Let's look at this Splunk team project. This one is a Kanban project. This one isn't really dictated based off of time, right? It looks similar to the Scrum-based project. Like we mentioned earlier, there isn't a big difference, right? There isn't a big difference. It just depends on your goals as a team, as an organization, and how you want the workflow to be. With the Kanban-based project, it's not really dictated upon time, right? You're going to have a whole bunch of tickets over here in the to-do section. They're going to be assigned to people. This one right here is assigned to me. You can see the title of it, onboard firewall logs. You're going to see other tickets that people can pick up that are not assigned. This is not assigned to anyone. This is not assigned to anyone. They could easily pick this up and start working on it. All the users on the team who could pick up the tickets, you'll see them here, right? You will see them here. If you only wanted to see tickets that are assigned to people, you could just select the filter and it'll group things by assignees. You can group them by subtasks. And I take that back. It's not only going to show you what's assigned, it's just going to group them by assignee, group them by subtask. Right now, we're not grouped by anything because we don't have much going on over here. That's okay. Now, if we go into this ticket, the same thing like the Scrum-based project, the tickets are structured the same way. If we just click it, once again, we have a title, right? You have the ticket number, you have the title, you have a description, which we don't have, and we definitely should. We have child issues here. Does everything need a child issue? No, some things will need them. And if they do, make note of it in the ticket so your team knows that. They know that you're working on something. They know that, hey, this overall parent ticket isn't complete yet because we're still working on one of the child issues. All right. Again, detail your tickets with comments. You can go back in the history section and see everything that people have done when the ticket was open, when it was assigned to somebody, when they left a comment. That's a pretty cool feature here. All right, sweet. Now let's go ahead and make our own ticket. It doesn't matter if we do it here on the Kanban, if we do it in the Scrum. Just for the heck of it, we'll do it in both. Let's just create a ticket. And how do I create a ticket again? Let's see. How do we create the ticket? This is going to add people. Here we go. So create issue. The issue is the ticket. If we just click that, what needs to be done? Let's say go through Jira documentation. All right, that is the name of our ticket. I'm going to hit enter. The ticket has been created. It's not assigned to anybody yet, right? It is not assigned to anyone when you create it. Let's go ahead and open this ticket up. All right, the ticket is open, right? Now let's give a description of our ticket. Let's say we need to go through our Jira documentation to ensure other users can read and understand how it is used within our organization. All right, that is the name, or that is the description of the ticket. We're going to go ahead and save that. This is pretty straightforward. It doesn't have to be 3, 5, 8 paragraphs. It just needs to be straightforward, and the goal of the ticket needs to be clear, right? Now we can leave comments here. This is just for instructional purposes. We can save that. All right, we have a comment, we have this. All right, let's say we need to add a child issue, all right? Let's say we don't have access to the Jira documentation. Well, that's a blocker, right? That's a blocker. That's something that this overall ticket is dependent upon. Okay, let's add a child issue. We're just gonna select add child issue, need access to documentation, right? Because it may be in Confluence, right? Confluence is another Atlassian product. Jira is an Atlassian product. Confluence is another Atlassian product. Maybe we don't have access to the documentation in Confluence or SharePoint, wherever it is. We're going to hit create. Cool. We have a new parent ticket. A new child ticket. Now, let's not forget to assign this to us. We're just going to go over here and click assign to me, and that will assign it to us. If there were other users within our Jira, we could assign it to them. All right, cool. So it's that easy to create a ticket, right? Let's go. I'm just going to close it. You can see that it's still in the to-do section right here. I'm going to go back into it, and we're going to move it. We're going to switch the status from to-do to in progress. And then I'm going to close it out, and you can see that it is over here now. It is in progress. Okay, let's go back into it. Let's go to this child ticket right here, right? I'm not going to click into it. I'm just going to switch from to do, and I'm going to move that to done, right? So this child issue is complete, right? And obviously we didn't do anything, but I'm just showing you how to switch the child issue as well. You can switch the progress of that child issue as well as the progress of the main parent issue. So let's just go ahead and mark this as done. All right, and we're going to close that. You can see that this ticket is done. It's striked out. It is complete. There are other tickets here that we can work on. Other people on the team can come and pick up these tickets. Other people on the team can come and see what we're working on. All right. Let's go over to the Scrum-based project. Hit project. Once again, you can view all projects. Me personally, I like to view everything just so I can see what's what. It really doesn't matter because I'm used to having a whole bunch of projects here. And we're going to click IT support project. All right, so here's one ticket that's being worked on. You don't see the other tickets that are in the backlog because they're not a part of this current sprint, right? They're not a part of this current sprint. If I go to backlog and I want to work on one of these tickets, I should move it to the current sprint so everyone is tracking, right? And that's easy to do. You can just drag, well, I think you can drag it up. Yeah, you can just click, hold, and drag it up to this sprint. Boom, right? Now we can start working on this, create new onboarding documentation, right? We can go ahead and assign it to someone, right? If we just click on these three dots, we can assign it to someone. Let's just assign it to ourselves. And let's go back to the main board. The main board is the tickets that is currently being worked on within this sprint. This is different from Kanban. Within a Kanban environment, everything is on the main board. Within a Scrum-based project, only what is currently being worked on in the sprint, what is currently being tracked within the sprint is going to be displayed here. All right, so I'm not going to click into this. I just wanted to show you, hey, if you don't have anything to work on, just come to the backlog, see which one you want to work on, assign it to yourself, drag it over to the sprint, and start working on it. But make sure you get approval from your team lead because it may not be ready for anyone to work on it. All right, so let's go back to the main board. Well, actually, let's go back to the backlogs, right? We're going to go back to the backlog and we're going to create an issue here. Let's create the issue under this sprint. Okay, we're going to create an issue and we'll say, let's see. This is the IT support. So let's create user accounts for new employees, right? That'll be the issue for this ticket, right? It's not assigned to anyone. You can assign it to yourself here. You can come back to the board and assign it to yourself here. It really doesn't matter. If I click on this, right? Let's click on this ticket. I'll do it again. Let's click on this ticket we just created. Look at the new ticket number. Let's click on this ticket, right? We can attach files to this ticket just like any other ticket. Maybe you want to attach documentation, you want to attach screenshots. You can do that here. You can put it in the comments. It doesn't matter. But you always want to attach as much details to your ticket as possible. Please, please, please keep that in mind. Make that a habit. Attach, detail as much information as possible. So we have our ticket. We have to create users for new employees. Let's add a child issue. We need new employee info sheet, right? Maybe our new employees fill out an info sheet with all the information we need to create their accounts, right? We need their name, maybe an email address. And once again, just like any other ticket, we can assign this to ourselves. It has to be assigned to someone, right? You definitely want to get points for the work that you're doing. So assign it to yourself. Don't be afraid to assign it to yourself. All right, so we're going to assign it to ourselves. All right, let's say that we gathered this information. We can go ahead and switch this from in progress to done. Let's say we've created all the employee accounts. Leave a comment. All new employee accounts have been created. Make a comment of that, right? So when someone looks at the ticket, they know, hey, this is done. Not just this, the status is done. They can see why it is done. Okay, all new employee accounts have been created. All right, cool. We can close that out. And look, just like the other project, the Kanban project, this is moved over to done. Jira is pretty simple to use from a ticketing perspective. It is very, very simple and straightforward to use from a ticketing perspective. We can do more. We can create epics, which I don't want to go into super details of right now. An epic is just an overall project of tickets, right? But this is really simple and straightforward to use from a ticketing perspective, right? You may not be in charge of creating your projects. You may not, these projects are already going to be created if you're coming on board as an IT support analyst, a Splunk, even if you're on the Splunk team, vulnerability team, these projects should already be created. You're going to get assigned to the project. Once you get assigned to the project, you go in there and they may even assign the tickets to you. If you don't have any work to do, you can assign the tickets to yourself, which is good and makes you look good. But it's pretty straightforward to use. It doesn't matter if it's a Kanban board. It doesn't matter if it's a Scrum-based board. They both work similar. The main difference are the time frames. At least from my perspective, the main difference is the time frame that the Scrum-based projects are dictated upon. Other than that, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody who's been subscribing. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the views. You all have a good one. See you next time. Peace.